All right, viewers, just when you thought that Team India, which is the India Alliance, has got its act together with the first productive, constructive meet with actual tangibles, the latest that is coming in right now is going to be worrying for the India Alliance. What we are given to understand is that one of its key members is unhappy. Mamata Banerjee upset with Team India is what we are being told. Sources also have confirmed to us that the TMC unhappy with the India-Mumbai meet. They feel that the alliance is moving too slow. What does that mean, moving too slow? But this is the big India Today political news quake of thoughts. Because viewers, at the end of this meet, everyone thought that for the first time, Team India had a game plan. They had a timeline. They had announcements to make which were tangible. But at the back of that, word coming in that one of its key allies unhappy, miffed. Mamata Banerjee was missing from the press conference as well. At the time, we were told that she had a flight and she had to leave early. Having said that, there's more to it when that meets the eye. Cutting across to Rajdeep Sardesai live from Mumbai, getting us the latest from this news break. Rajdeep, why is the TMC unhappy? Why does Mamata Banerjee feel that the alliance is progressing slowly?
You know, Preeti, Mamata Banerjee is difficult to decipher at the best of times. What I was told by a senior Trinamool Congress leader that Mamata Banerjee is very much part of this Team India. She's bought into the idea of Team India, but she wants Team India to move faster. Now I said, what do you mean by faster? Your resolution says seat sharing to be bigger, to begin immediately. What more do you want? The concerned person didn't have an answer to that, but they said, we want this alliance to move fast. My sense is, Preeti, Mamata Banerjee is sending out a message to potential Bengal allies, including left and the Congress. Don't take me for granted. I will dictate the terms in Bengal. Let's get down to business in terms of alliance building. And if you really are serious, do not fight the kind of by-election battle you're fighting with me, which is a by-election that comes up in 3 days. It is significant that she was the only major leader missing when the press conference took place. Now, she said she had to rush to Kolkata. The truth is, she had a private plane. She could have waited for an hour, had that photo op and gone. Abhishek Banerjee, who's on that coordination committee which this Team India has put out, could have also been there at that press conference to give a sense of unity. So clearly, not everything went according to plan, but Mamata Banerjee's supporters insist that she's not going to move away from Team India, far from it. She will strengthen it, and she says that while she will fight the left in Bengal, she will support Team India across the country. So is it a storm in a teacup? Was something said at the meeting? We are not clear. But what is true is Mamata Banerjee was the only major leader missing in that Team India photo op.
But, you know, it also goes on to say, Rajdeep, that the optics of it all is not so easy to control. If, you know, in the first meeting, there was an Arvind Kejriwal who was upset, didn't attend the meet, and later on, we got to know why. Second meet, it was Nitish, we got to know why. The third meeting, now it's Mamata Banerjee.
Look, it's the nature of this alliance. I was telling someone that this alliance reminds me a bit of old India, chaotic and messy, but some would argue more democratic. The new India of Mr. Modi works to precision, well choreographed. The press conferences are designed well in advance, so it's very well choreographed. What we saw today was, some would say, disorganized and messy, each speaker giving long bhashans, trying to outdo the other. But you could also argue that's the way it will be when you have so many parties with so many chief ministers and ex-chief ministers and party presidents on one stage. I would like to believe that opposition zinda hai is what has been proven.
Right.
Is the one big takeaway from this India alliance. But the opposition, while it is alive, needs to get kicking. And I'm not so sure that they've got kicking as yet, because for that, we will have to see how the local level alliances work.
But the optics not playing out very well, at least of today. Rajdeep, to stay on with me, Jayanto Ghoshal from Kolkata also joining us in this news break. I also have Shehzad Poonawala in the studio with me who wants to make a point. But Jayanta, you know, I want to come down to you first. What's going on? Why is Mamata Banerjee upset? She landed a short while ago at Kolkata, refused to speak to the press there. None of our panelists are joining panels this evening. What went down? Why is Mamata Banerjee so upset? Why does she think that this alliance is going slow when most are actually looking at one of the most productive meetings of the India alliance?
Well, Priti, what Rajdeep said now, I agree with him, because she has a private plane and she can wait, but actually it's a very politically conscious decision that not to speak. And you can ask me why, because there are few issues what actually Mamata wants that they should resolve all these issues very fast, because the time is not, much time is there to prepare the election strategy for 2024. So for West Bengal is concerned, Mamata Banerjee requested Rahul Gandhi through Abhishek Banerjee that if you want alliance with Congress, TMC Congress alliance, then you have to break the local alliance with CPM, because it can't be that Communist and Trinamool, they was never ally in Indian politics. And now, after this election of 2021, Mamata is saying Congress leadership that you should realize that with left and Indian secular front, that Muslim political party, that you lost all your seats. Congress is 0 in assembly, left is 0 in assembly. So if you want to make an alliance, but if you don't ready to break the alliance in West Bengal, but you are seeking 5-6 seats from me, it is ridiculous. But in this sort of conclave, there are two lines of discussion. One is for the public consumption. There is a press release that as much as we can, 1:1, as early as possible. These are the language for the press consumption, media consumption, public consumption. But internally, there are always a lot of discussion. Like when Abhishek met Rahul Gandhi, they discussed the Kejriwal's agony also, because Kejriwal called Mamata, and Kejriwal's advice is that all the Congress chief ministers are saying that Rahul Gandhi will be the prime ministerial candidate, then we have to also speak. Kejriwal's party also said that Kejriwal is a prime ministerial candidate. Then Bobby Hakim of Mamata Banerjee said Mamata Banerjee is a candidate. So you have to take a call, and Rahul Gandhi or Congress High Command should tell the chief ministers that you should not make this sort of statements before the conclave. So these are a lot of micro issues, but what Rajdeep said, I agree, that it doesn't mean that Mamata will be away from India. She is not Naveen Patnaik. So she will be in this India, but she is internally also raising all this, and even Adani also. Rahul Gandhi raised the Adani issue without consulting Mamata Banerjee or all this. So Mamata Banerjee is saying that you can attack Adani, but Adani cannot be the main focus before one day before the conclave. All these issues are there, Priti.
Very, very interesting. We'll go back to Rajdeep. I want to bring in Shehzad Poonawala in the studio. Slyly smiling away, Shehzad. It could be a storm. Sahil Joshi also joining us. Brijesh Kadappa from the Aam Aadmi Party also joining us. Sanjay Jha as well going to be joining us shortly. But Shehzad Poonawala, you're slyly smiling away in the studio. It could be a storm in a teacup or just a optics hiccup. Mamata Banerjee, as per our sources, still with the alliance. Par for the course, it's going to happen. You have, it's a multi-starrer against your superstar.
First of all, my smile is entirely attributed to my dear friend Rajdeep, whom I see as a reporter, not as an anchor. So it's entirely attributed to him. But look, what is the flavor of this meeting? It's all about eating, meeting, greeting and going. What has happened? And I am more focused on G20, not on what is happening Janta ke saath 420. I am more focused on mission and vision, which is taking country to 7.8% GDP growth. But there you have ambition and contradiction coming out. And look at the contradiction. Today, left is being given an ultimatum by TMC that you either leave this alliance or else we walk out. You have Aam Aadmi Party giving Congress ultimatums, Congress giving Aam Aadmi Party ultimatums. You have had the the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan say that Congress is no longer secular, its secular credentials have been exposed. This they've said yesterday. So you know there is a handle on X, Preeti, since you're on X and you're actively tweeting all the time. There is a handle called Ghar Ke Kalesh. I think it should be renamed as Gadbandhan Ke Kalesh. On the one hand, you have a clear leader, a clear agenda. We want one nation, one election. They can't even have one Gadbandhan, one logo. Today, by the way, the logo was going to come out. ना लोगो है ना लोगों के लिए नीति है झंडा है एजेंडा नहीं है What is their agenda on 370? I can see Brajesh Bhai, who was with Congress first. Aam Aadmi Party supports the abrogation of 370. What does the Congress do? Congress wants to reimpose it. Chale chhod dijiye. What is the position on one nation, one election? Samajwadi Party has supported it in 2019. You have had JDU supported in 2018. You have had Congress Party's Nachiyappan ji give a report in 2015 supporting one nation, one election. You've had the Law Commission report. Now, is the Congress Party going to take a position on this or not going to take a position on this? What is the position of their UPA alliance on this? So this kind of contradiction and ambition is far more important than mission and vision for the country. We are working with mission and vision, and I'm only waiting for what will be the flavor that comes out from Rajdeep's show. If he tells me in the food delicacy will be that kuch zyada mirchi lagi hui hai sabhi logon ko khane mein.
All right, we're going to go across to our other panelists, but Rajdeep, that was pointed at you. Shehzad smiling away. What's so wrong in being a reporter and not an anchor?
No.
I think that's where you on your spurs.
No, 1 second. I have grown up watching Rajdeep Sardesai anchor and report, so and I'm always nostalgic when he goes to Mumbai because Maharashtra is where he comes from. So I love Rajdeep in Mumbai. He can report even better.
Rajdeep, that was...
Tell my friend Shehzad.
Right.
That some of us have remained reporters with our feet on the ground. Some of us have remained reporters.
Rajdeep, you need to put up your mic. We can barely hear you.
Verified comforts of being a party spokesperson in TV studios. Sorry, the limited point I wanted to make to my friend Mr. Poonawalla is that some of us have been reporters for much of our lives with our feet on the ground. We do not have the rarefied comforts of a TV studio as a BJP party spokesperson and the privileges that come with that. No problem. You're welcome to see me as a reporter. I will say one thing to Mr. Poonawalla. I am a reporter whose spine is intact, and more importantly, my integrity is intact.
Rajdeep,
I will not take character certificates from any of you.
No, Rajdeep, he didn't mean it that way. He meant it in a good way is what he's saying, and it wasn't meant as a jibe. That's what I think Shehzad would want to point out.
I meant it as a compliment.
He meant it as a compliment, not as a jibe. But
Rajdeep, no problem. Madam, I have no problem. Nishkama karma. I am not a yogi. I am a Nishkama karma man.
Right, sir. But Rajdeep, before you, I want to bring you back into the conversation. We'll go to our other panelists as well. Would you think this kind of, optics, especially at the back of a constructive meet, is something that the India Alliance can afford, and where you're so close to elections now?
Look, the fact is India Alliance has to realize who they are up against. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah lead the most formidable election machine in the history of post-independent India. They are masters of all that it requires to win an election. Now, you could argue that as Sam Dam Danda Bhed, but it's also strategy, it's also a lot of hard work, it's a lot of last mile connectivity. Let's give them their due. Therefore, this alliance has to realize it's not business as usual. You cannot throw tantrums, you cannot have your personal animosity scars playing out because that will be used by the likes of Shehzad Poonawalla to suggest that this alliance will simply not work. You are going to have to provide a viable, cohesive alternative with a clear message. I think the big takeaway, as I said earlier, Preeti, is that opposition zinda hai. It's alive, but it's not kicking. It will kick when you have a strategy in place, when you have a message in place, and when you have a clear roadmap in place. Until you have that, you're being messy and chaotic. And a messy and chaotic opposition, I think, cannot compete with a nimble and resourceful BJP machine. So I think it's for the opposition to realize that every time they do something like this, it will be interpreted as yet another self-goal.
All right, Rajdeep, we're going to get, you back into the debate at about 7:20. You're going to have 10 minutes break, Rajdeep. You're going to come right back. But I want to, take the conversation right now to Sanjay Jha and Brijesh Karappa, Sahil Joshi also joining us. Sanjay Jha, with what Rajdeep was saying as well, you're practically 2 months away from state elections, 8 months away from general elections. On a day where one would have thought this was a constructive meeting, what came out was tangible, stuff. You had a committee which was formed, multiple committees at that. You had a timeline to your your seat sharing arrangement. Yet now the spotlight is a Mamata Banerjee upset.
Preeti, I'm not going to waste my time on discussing what appears to be a media story. Fair enough. But I think the larger issues need to be put on the table. It has been a highly successful Mumbai summit. Let me tell you that. I have a lot of friends in the India Alliance. It has been an extraordinary success. You'll hear more about it in the days ahead. There are 2 points I wish to make. Number one, over the last 10 years, it has been the dark and what I call as the lost decade of India. I think under Modi, we have seen India actually become the most corrupt, communal and criminal party in this country. And there are several instances of that. I do believe that today the India Alliance's whole theme, Jurega India, which is about bringing the people of this country together. Number 2, Jeetega India, which is a call for change, a call not just for victory, it's a call for fighting for each and every citizen of this country, is already resonating. I can sense it in more ways than one. I want to give you, Preeti, a couple of examples of why I think India Alliance is not just going to sweep, and I think it's a Congress as part of the alliance will sweep the winter elections in December. I'm predicting on your show it will be a 0 for the BJP. And the momentum for the 2024 elections, let's discuss it after the December elections. A few examples, Preeti, before the others come in. The Manipur silence of the Prime Minister, I think the country has seen it. 78 days, the Prime Minister goes into radio silence. I think you need a Prime Minister with courage. You need a Prime Minister with some conviction. You can't have such a weak Prime Minister. Number 2, women wrestlers today are going to fight in international competitions without the national anthem and the flag because the BJP wanted to protect a sexual predator. I mean, can there be a bigger shame for this country? You have a railway protection officer who hunts down Muslims and kills them. Do we need to tell you what he said after the bloodthirsty murders? What names did he announce that inspired him? That is the state of the country under the BJP today. Number 4, the courts have to say ethnic cleansing. Is that what's happening in Haryana? This is the legacy of Narendra Modi over the last 9 years. I think it is a shame for this country. Last but not the least, the Muzaffarnagar incident where a young boy gets slapped repeatedly with the teacher egging the others on tells you how hate has permeated down to the villages of this country. I think the India Alliance is the future. And the people of the country will vote Narendra Modi and the BJP out.
All right, okay. Shehzad wants to respond and we'll go across to Sahil after that. Shehzad, go ahead.
Yeah, who's lecturing us about hate is those people who have Sanjay Raut in their midst, and the Sanjay Raut and India Today report has said Muslims' voting rights should be revoked. The biggest riots that have targeted Muslims, including the Mumbai riots, the Congress party used to blame Balasaheb Thackeray. In fact, they put him in jail and they said he's the most communal person. This is the Congress party which gave us the Delhi Narsanghar and genocide, which Manishankar Iyer has also admitted, where the Prime Minister said, Bada ped girta hai to dharti hilti hai. And it has in its midst IUML, which Rahul Gandhi says is secular, which chanted genocidal slogans against Hindus. And you have the Samajwadi party, which has recently said Hindu dharma is a dhoka. So I don't think I need lectures on Nafrat ki Rajniti from Sanjay Jha, who is still suspended. The least they could have done in this meeting is to revoke the suspension of Sanjay Jha. But having said that, Preeti, if they are so united on these causes, one second. Forget all of this. Let's not get personal. So I am just coming to, yesterday Pinarayi Vijayan said on record that the Congress has no secular credentials to speak of. Forget what BJP thinks. Are Pinarayi Vijayan, this dosti in Bengal, masti in Mumbai, kushti in some other place, this model doesn't work, Sanjay Jha. People look through it. You are friends with Uddhav Sena, whom you accused of riots. You are friends with the left, whom you accuse of stifling democracy in Kerala. You are friends with Trinamool Congress, whom Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary says kill democracy in the Panchayati elections. And you are saving democracy in Mumbai. You only have to be lost in a South Mumbai tennis court to actually think that people believe this stuff.
You will not even get a job of a chaprasi in my
Okay, let's not get either of you.
I don't need one.
Let's not get personal.
I'm
Either
sure,
of you. Sanjay Jha
I'm
and
sure
Shahid.
even if I did, it's fine. Chaprasi is not a bad job. It is a great job.
Add one
Chaiwala and
sentence here.
chaprasis are not
Okay, may
people
I?
to be
Okay,
not
okay.
dignified.
Jayanto wants to come in, but
I will
Sahil
add
hasn't had a
one
word.
sentence here.
Okay, sir, one sentence. Let me go to Sahil Joshi. He's been very
Just one
patient.
sentence, Priti. One sentence.
Yes, sir.
Literally one sentence.
Go ahead, sir.
Literally one sentence I want to say. Today, Muhammad Salim, State Secretary member and the Central Committee member, he has attacked Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee on corruption and said why Government of India is not arresting these two people immediately when Sitaram Yechuri was addressing at the Bombay summit that we are closing together as much as we can,
Right.
as early as possible, the seat adjustment will take place. So
Right.
I mean, what dialectical materialism it is.
All right, I want to bring in Sahil Joshi into this conversation. He's been wanting to make a point for a while. Sahil, you know what's interesting in all of this is, earlier on, what we were going to discuss is that big decisions made by the India Alliance, big ticket, committees that have been formed, huge movement. What we are discussing is Mamata Banerjee possibly pissed with the alliance or upset with the alliance. Sahil, I want to ask you, did the other alliance members actually know Mamata Banerjee was upset?
Well, I would just like to point out a couple of things. Whether Mamata Banerjee is upset or not, Mamata Banerjee will have to come forward and say it loudly. But yes, for sure, that Mamata Banerjee wasn't present when all the opposition leaders were sitting on one dais and addressing the media. That time she wasn't there, and nobody from her party was also present there to put forward their point of view, because Bengal is an important state for even the India Alliance partners. I would like to draw attention to the the resolution which was passed today in the India Alliance meeting. The first line itself gives kind of a tentativeness. The first line says that it is decided that the upcoming Lok Sabha elections will be fought together as far as possible. As far as possible actually creates a question. And why this line came forward, I was talking to some people. It came forward as far as possible is, how much ever possible we will fight together is what this line says, is because when the question of Punjab, Kerala and Bengal came forward, that was the time it came forward. And that is the reason why alliance partners like Mamata Banerjee,
right.
Even Sharad Pawar and that of Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray group, they have been asking the India Alliance, specifically the Congress, that let's sit on the table and start discussing seat sharing. Mamata Banerjee was insisting that there has to be a specific time frame, that within this time frame that seat sharing formula should be worked out, which was not given. So that is the reason why as far as possible that line,
right.
Particular line came forward. Now I have another point to make as well, but the alliance partners, all the India Alliance partners knows their shortcomings. And that is the reason why Rahul Gandhi, when he spoke at the press briefing, it was not a press conference because nobody asked questions.
Right.
Was not. There was no time to ask questions. They didn't allow us to ask questions. It was only a briefing. In that briefing, Rahul Gandhi specifically said that we know that there are some differences
right.
of our views, point of views, and on various issues. But on one point, we have all come together, and that is why this new slogan has come forward. Jeetega Bharat,
Judega Bharat, Jeetega
India,
right.
and all that stuff. That slogan has that kind of slogan has come forward.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
exactly.
All
so
right. Okay.
They know the shortcomings.
All right. They know
that
their shortcomings.
there is
We'll only know in time to come if they'll be able to stitch it together.
They have come together is what the signal which they are trying
right,
to get.
Right. Well, we're going to take it further, take the conversation. Brijesh Kadapa, thank you for the patience.